Alright, now this is a video that I wasn't even really gonna make this shit because I felt like after time people would catch on to something, but even though when you put it right in their face, they for some reason still can't see it. Now what am I talking about? I'm talking about the new Dragon Ball Z Blu-ray release. All the Dragon Ball Z releases, basically, that's basically what I wanted to talk about, right? So if anybody not heard, Funimation, they were coming out with a 30th anniversary Dragon Ball Z Blu-ray release, right? And this release is supposed to be a 4x3 format release of a Blu-ray form of Dragon Ball Z. They basically saying that this is the truest to its original form, right? And as you can imagine, there's fools complaining about this, and the main thing that they yell and they holler is the level set. So let's go into the history of the Dragon Ball Z releases. Let's go into every single Dragon Ball Z home video release that there has ever been, right? Because I don't know what these people are trying to compare it to, and I don't know if these people don't understand how that people release cartoons and release animes to the people and charge them a certain price, right? The thing coming at $350, that's mostly because of the figurine and all that. But let's go all the way back, right? Let's go to about 2002, 2001. Dragon Ball Z Pioneer VHS for the VCR, the cassette tapes, and the Pioneer DVDs. Now, the Pioneer DVDs was a release that was a 4x3 format VHS and a DVD. Let me talk about the DVD right now. 4x3 format. This is basically, as people say, the truest form that you're actually able to obtain Dragon Ball Z right now. Now, the thing with these Pioneer DVDs is that even still right now, and this is why that a lot of people did not watch Dragon Ball Z when it first came out and when it first came to America, other than when it was on TV, because these each DVD, let's say, was about 3 or 4 episodes, about 80 minutes, and each of these was $20. So you had to pay $20 for 8 episodes. The reason for this was Dragon Ball Z was not really popular like that in the West. There was a couple of people who were heavy into Dragon Ball that had followed Dragon Ball Z in the manga, and that's how that we even had these Pioneer DVDs being pumped out here and even over in Europe. Now, so that's 2 problems. The first problem is that it wasn't really big in America. The first problem is it wasn't really big in America, and the second problem is that it was, let's say, $20 for like 4 episodes, right? 80 minutes. And people bought it. There were people that was hardcore Dragon Ball Z fans. They didn't care. They bought it because this was actually the only way you could own Dragon Ball Z in this early 2000s era, right? And it had almost, let me say, about the original colors. And you gotta remember, when you're dealing with fatback TVs, especially, people's contrast, brightness, and saturation is different on each person's TV. Like you might be 2004. You go to your friend's house and his TV, you watching Cartoon Network, but it's brighter. That's just how the settings is that they think. You could lower the brightness and everything on those TVs, even in these ones we got now and so forth, right? But if you want to talk about the original Dragon Ball Z from when that they printed, that was the original in the best way, in the most truest way, with the colors, the brightness, and so forth. Now, the problem though is that it was in 480p, which is standard definition. So the grain was gone, so you could not see film grain the same way you couldn't see film grain with any other cartoon that you was watching and so forth. Even when it aired on TV, that would, and I'm gonna explain to you why there's no film grain when they do it on TV too. After that, they came out with, after they seen how well that the people was buying these Dragon Ball Z Pioneer DVDs, they came out with the first Dragon Box by Toei. And the first Dragon Box, it looked similar to how the Pioneer DVD did, but you know, it came with extra stuff because it was a Dragon Box. So this was like first type of collector's edition they came out with, right? So it was, this Dragon Box was from 2004, right? And it was for the Pioneer DVD fans. Then after this, after they aired it on Cartoon Network, you had all these little children and all these kids and all of these people, and then, you know, when it aired on Cartoon Network, that opened possibility for people to now like rip it off the TV and then like upload it to anime sites that they had in this mid 2000s era, right? And the way they aired it on Funimation, the way that they aired it on Cartoon Network, it looked a little different, obviously because of TV broadcast, but it still looked the same, right? So up to Pioneer DVD VHS, original Dragon boxes, and then this TV release, it basically all looked the same, right? There's no grain and everything, right? But it still looked same in terms of saturation, color, and so forth. It's not even 16:9. These people at Funimation made so much money off of the broadcasting revenue from all of these children, all of these people that now started getting in Dragon Ball Z when they started airing it on the TOONAMI on Cartoon Network. So guess what they did? They said they were going to release, but it was still hard to obtain though. A lot of people wasn't able to purchase it. So they said, what we're gonna do is, instead of what we had in the past with the first Dragon box and with the Pioneer DVDs where it's like $20 for 4 episodes, we are going to find a way to make it purchasable, keyword purchasable, for these new fans and this new generation of Dragon Ball Z fans around this 2006, 2007, 2008 era, right? So what they did was, they, on the cheapest third-party thing you could do in terms of the way it looked, but nobody actually gave a fuck originally. This is why it's important. They created these cheap, over bright, fucked up 16:9 things that we call orange bricks. Now let me tell y'all something about me. When the orange bricks came out, I was only about 7, 8 years old. So I had never, I didn't used to watch Dragon Ball Z on TV like that. I used to see it a little bit, right? But when the orange bricks came out and then YouTube came out and you started seeing Dragon Ball Z footage, 9 times out of 10, that's the footage people was uploading, because these was new Dragon Ball Z fans. These was not OGs from 2002. Because if these was old, think about it. If these was OGs from 2002, everybody would have already had the Pioneer DVDs, or at least the original Dragon boxes. So when YouTube came out and people started uploading them on YouTube, they would have been uploading the original shit. Not these orange bricks that just came out. Right? So when you dealing with the orange bricks, when they first came out, see, most people didn't know that Dragon Ball Z didn't actually look like that. So when I was seeing them on YouTube, you know, I was thinking, hey, this thing look kind of funny compared to other animes, but I didn't know that that's literally like, I didn't know it was, like, it looked chopped off, but I didn't know they literally chopped it off. I think that'd be stupid. You see what I'm saying? So these orange bricks, for a long time, that's all people were seeing. So people like me, I didn't know that that's not what it was supposed to look like. Until Dragon Ball Z Kai came out in around 2008, 2009. And I first started watching Dragon Ball Z like that, right? And this is showing on Nicktoons. And I remember back when I was in 4th grade and 5th grade, and I was watching this and I was like, this is in 4th, this look like a box. And I was like, I can see the whole thing now. I like the way this looks. So then I started watching Dragon Ball Z religiously. You see what I'm saying? So I started watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, and it was up to the Frieza saga where I had found out that Dragon Ball Z Kai cut off episodes. I didn't know what they meant when they said no filler at that time. They cut off episodes, right? Now Dragon Ball Z Kai is I think it's not really Dragon Ball Z, so I don't really hold it. But if you want me to be real with you, I don't like the way it looks. I think it looks oversaturated to a certain extent. I don't like the colors they use. I don't like how they change the color balance, right? And even in some shots, the lines and that shiny effect they put on it, I don't really like that. But what I'm trying to say is, this is how I found out about Pioneer DVDs, because I found out Dragon Ball Z Kai was a cut shorter version of Dragon Ball Z. So I was like, oh snap! Well, where can I find Dragon Ball Z at? And I seen these orange bricks and I was like, but now I know that those are ugly. So I didn't know what to do. Luckily, my uncle's girlfriend had the whole Pioneer DVD set from the Arrival, the first one, the Saiyan Saga, all the way to Majin Buu. And she gave them to me. Bro, I had this big, old school Dragon Ball Z. I used to come home every single day and watch those. I used to be like, this is the shit. I'm like, this is what it's supposed to look like. I like this even better than the way Dragon Ball Z Kai looked. And I watched, this was 2000, and this when I was in 5th grade. I watched the whole of Dragon Ball Z on them Pioneer DVDs. From the first episode all the way to the last episode. In about 3 months of that school year. Right? And I would never forget, like, oh, that's what it originally looks like. So by then I knew the orange bricks was trash, right? And then guess what they did? Then they came out with the Dragon box, the second Dragon boxes from Funimation. And these was the ones that everybody that had the orange bricks, the cheap ass new fans, which is a lot of y'all went crazy over the Dragon boxes, but the OG people didn't buy the Dragon boxes. And a lot of the people that already had Kai, they was like, what's the point? So the orange brick people, some of them was able to afford the Dragon boxes. They wanted the Dragon boxes because the only thing they had was the orange bricks. Now the Dragon boxes, the second Dragon boxes, right, came out in 2010. Oversaturated, over bright. Goku's skin is pink, the sky is green, the lines is weird, it's all smooth. The Dragon boxes, a lot of people, I remember. The Dragon boxes was the first Dragon Ball Z release that I clearly remember when I was into Dragon Ball Z like that people it was a negative response for the most part. And the negative response actually was basically a silent majority type stuff, right? And everybody was not, like you didn't hear people praising the Dragon boxes like that. There was this one video of this one dude, and I remember what the thumbnail looked like. It's like Gohan when he's wearing the long white thing. He's Super Saiyan mode, and that was the only video on YouTube praising the Dragon boxes, because it was like oversaturated, because it's 4:3. So people were comparing it to the last 4:3, which was the Pioneer DVDs, right? And the Dragon box was like $100 and something, and people was like, there's no way we paying money for something that is not the original. Far from it. Don't care if it's in 4:3 format, and this thing is that expensive. No, so people didn't do that. So then they came out with something new, and this was the first Dragon Ball Z release that I actually bought. Right? I told you I had used my uncle's girlfriend's Dragon Ball Z Pioneer DVDs. This is the first Dragon Ball Z release that I actually bought. As soon as these joints came out, I got them for Christmas. Level 1.1. and level 1.2, right? Now, Dragon Ball Z level 1.1 and level 1.2 had, and I don't mean silent majority, silent minority, one of the worst responses I've ever seen when these trailers dropped and when it was on Cartoon Network. I don't care what nobody's saying right now. People was not feeling those when they came out, and I'm going to tell you why. When the level sets first came out, there was 2 problems, right? And then there was a third one that people just started inventing. The first problem people said was the level 1.1 and 1.2. These were like volumes. They were like parts, right? And these parts cost more than Dragon Ball Z Kai parts, because 1.1 and 1.2 isn't even the whole Saiyan saga. I believe the last episode that when I was watching 1.2, I think the last episode on 1.2 is after Gohan turns into an ape. No, he's about to turn into an ape. And then that's it. So they didn't even complete it when they went and found Kami's ship and all of that. Right? So let me explain to you the main problem. I paid $50 for each of those. Level 1.1 was $50. It had 17 episodes on it. So we ran into basically a low Pioneer DVD problem that we had originally when the people that saw it on TV from 2006 2007 couldn't afford it. Because let me explain to you something about the level sets. They're Blu-rays, right? But the level sets are a higher definition than the seasoned Blu-rays we have right now. You want to know why? Because the level sets are the original print. That's best way to put it. When they in the studio, when they first made it, before they even put it on screen, it has all the grain in it. That's what the level sets are, right? I don't know another cartoon or anime that has the grain and the original shit or release. You see SpongeBob, you see Avatar: The Last Airbender, you see Bleach. You understand that all of that stuff, they have to downgrade it a certain way so that it's affordable to make and so that it's not extremely expensive. So if you want me to be real with you, the level sets that I have, these aren't 1080p. And you can even do this on YouTube. There's certain people that uploaded footage of it, right? If you go on YouTube and you look up level set footage and you watch it in 480p, the grain gonna disappear. If you turn it up to 720p, the grain's still not gonna be there. 1080p, the grain is there a little bit. If if the video has an option of 1440p, that's what it looks like when I would put it in the PS3 and the Blu-ray player. When I put it in the PS4. So these things are not running at just 1080p. They running at above 1080p but below 4K, because it's the original format. Anytime that it's like they had to downgrade it to put it on DVD when they made the Pioneer DVDs. This is the original format. Original format is more pixels than 1080p. So that's why that these level sets were so expensive. And there were even people complaining about the grain. I would never forget the people complaining about the grain. These level sets, they run at running at that level. What you're gonna have is you're gonna have it being more expensive. You're gonna have it costing $50 for 17 episodes because it is expensive to make, and people weren't buying it. People weren't buying it because the people could not afford it, and that's the problem Funimation was trying to get away from. Both them and Toei was trying to get away from since 2006 when it first aired on Cartoon Network. So the level sets, they didn't sell because you idiots didn't buy it because you couldn't afford it, right? So after the level sets now, they tried this shit again. They said, damn it, let's try this shit again. They released the whole Saiyan saga and all of the movies on something that's similar to the Dragon Box. It had Ocean Dub in it. Imagine a Dragon Box that looked like the original Pioneer DVDs. This was called it's like 2013, I believe. This was right after the end of the level sets. It was called Dragon Ball Z Rock the Dragon Edition. In the Dragon Ball Z Rock the Dragon Edition, like I said, 4:3 ratio format, same colors, same everything, right? Do you know how many times they released the original thing and you motherfuckers couldn't afford it? It was the Rock the Dragon Edition 2013, and I don't believe they said it was a limited edition. I think it was going. I would assume that it was going to be permanent, because the way that these things got pulled off the shelves, the amount of people that did not buy or support this, I would think it wasn't supposed to be limited. Bro, these things came out. So like, you know, the Dragon Box has a first. It was like the first Dragon Box. You know, the first Dragon Box has Ocean Dub. It has the whole Saiyan saga, and it got first when we got Tree of Might. It didn't go all the way up to Lord Slug, right? It had all of that. And it was the original thing. No oversaturated, no pink look people was complaining about. So it was basically them going, well, they didn't like the Dragon Boxes. We had to discontinue those. They didn't like the level sets, too much grain, too expensive. Let's kind of put that together and work with it. That's how they got the Rock the Dragon Edition. And them got a worse response than the level sets and the Dragon Boxes combined that the niggas didn't even buy. So then after that, I was heartbroken. I was like, man, I guess I ain't never gonna get Dragon Ball Z and Blu-ray. Then they came out with the 16:9 Blu-ray season sets that people saying look so horrible. Them shits, they don't look horrible, it's just not the original thing. It's what you can enjoy watching those easy. I like the way they did the colors and everything. Now, is it the original thing? No. But if you want the original, if you wanted the original thing, you got all of these options and things you could still buy, like these discs like got blown up or something. And you wanna know the thing that pissed me off about the level sets? You wanna know, I would never forget, this shit's ingrained in my head. The amount of times I seen this when the level sets came out, even with the Rock the Dragon Edition. What? $50 for 17 episodes? No thanks, Funimation. I think I'll keep my Dragon Ball Z Kai releases. Do you know how many fucking times I seen you know how many times I see people say the same shit? These motherfuckers said, no thanks, I'm chilling with my Dragon Ball Z Kai DVDs, my Dragon Ball Z Kai Blu-rays. I seen that shit. So, man, if there is a YouTube comment that I have read in any form of criticism from the age of 11 years old to 19 years old, was that shit. Every time they come out with, even when they came out with the last Dragon Box DVD, motherfuckers was like, what? I'm chilling with my Dragon Ball Z Kai. What? And you motherfuckers was singing that same song till about 2014. If I'm not mistaken, that's when the Cell Saga ended and they stopped when they released the last Blu-ray of Dragon Ball Z Kai. It was 2013, 2014. And you motherfuckers started complaining because you realized that there wasn't going to be no Majin Buu saga. And y'all was like, I want the whole thing, I want the whole thing. And then you stop talking all this Dragon Ball Z Kai magnificent shit, and then you wanted a new release. That's why they came out with that Blu-ray, the Blu-rays that we got now. $22 for the whole Saiyan Saga in Blu-ray. And it looked decent. And you want to know something? These got, look, when it was first announced, you can go and look, type in Dragon Ball Z Season 1 Blu-ray trailer and look at the Funimation comments from 4 years ago. All of that. I ain't seen nothing but good responses. Bruh, when they first announced they was coming out with these 16:9 Blu-rays, man, these people was as happy as a tigger. These people was as happy as a tigger. They was like, what? $22? Blu-ray Saiyan Saga 16:9? Doesn't really matter. I like the way it looks. Finally. And you bought all of them shits. Man, them shits selling like hotcakes. Them shit selling like hotcakes to the point to where they had to turn the Funimation streaming Dragon Ball Z thing from the orange bricks to the season sets. You know, it was those orange bricks on that funky ass Funimation streaming site for about, what, 5 years? The Dragon boxes didn't sell. That's why they didn't put them on the streaming site. That's why they didn't change it. Everything, they released 4 things since they first put that orange brick footage up to you watch on the website. They didn't change it at all till that season set came out with the Blu-rays that we got now. Right? And that's where we're at right now. Now these Blu-ray season sets. Let me explain to you let me try to break down the analysis of this whole thing they did. So the colors ain't that different. Because these season sets, and you gotta remember, something I realized about these Blu-ray season sets we got out now is each saga, the colors is different. Like, big difference. If you watch the Namek Saga, you buy season 2 of these Blu-rays, and then you go all the way to Majin Buu Saga, it look a little different, right? And then you gotta remember, it depends on if you put it in a Blu-ray or a PS3 or a PS4, because I got some color differences with that. So the color varies, but it's not oversaturated or over vibrant. For the most part, it's not too bright. Maybe a couple of episodes that kind of looked too bright, like when he went Super Saiyan in the Namek Saga when he was fighting Frieza in these Blu-rays. It did something kind of looking like the orange bricks, I'm not gonna lie, right? But that's certain. This is not an ugly master. What I'll say though is that certain episodes and certain frames look kind of funny. But when you take that out of all of those episodes that you're getting from these 9 seasons, it's not for you to say it's a horrible master. You just be like, oh, that don't really look too good. But it's $22 and you motherfuckers is buying it. You see what I'm saying? So this thing now that I wish they didn't even do this, because I was already chilling. I wish they never even said they was gonna release these new Blu-rays now. That they said it was gonna release, that the trailer came out last week. They should have never even gave you fools the chance. Cause you fools, look, it's like you saying you want this and that. Look, it's a company, bro. You can't just say you want this and that. You can't have the original format footage and then want it to be $22 or $30. Now, I understood that from the minute I said, oh, these look really good. This is gonna be expensive. Let me be a good boy. Let me be a good little boy. Let me save up some money so that, or matter of fact, let me wait until Christmas so that I can get all of these on Crimmer. And I got them on Christmas about 6 years ago. Pardon me, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not that these look they don't look horrible, right? We know the orange bricks is some of the worst things we ever seen, right? It's not that they look horrible. They are different. And they are different because Funimation is not, they know that they can't release the original thing and be like, hey, go buy it, because people can't afford it. They knew this since 2006. That's why they made the orange bricks to begin with. We working with a ratio of, can these motherfuckers afford this? And how much do we have to change this original thing so we can get a certain price? What price range are these people going to purchase this? How do we get them to purchase this? Do we sell it singular? Do we put it in a whole collector's edition coming with little toys and figurines and art books? So all of you fools that have been talking about you ain't gonna buy this, Funimation ain't listening. Motherfucker, it has been 10 years. It has been 10 years. Do you think these Japanese people are retarded? You ain't listening. It's been 10 years you've been arguing about this shit. That was 10 years ago. You've been arguing saying we want this, we want that. They've came out with 4 or 5 different releases since 2008. And you motherfuckers talk shit and don't buy it. And then you got true fans like me that buy damn near everything. So this is what's gonna happen. You fools ain't gonna buy this. That's alright. I'm perfectly happy. I've been rocking with Dragon Ball Z since I was a child. You don't have to buy this. Guess what? This is what I plan to do. They said there's 6,000 of these they can make. 3,000 thing copy to make it, and then they're gonna probably release them by like November this year, right? This is what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna buy the whole collection? No. Because I feel like because of y'all, this is gonna be some unstable shit, and even if I save up, they're not gonna be able to make them, or some bullshit's gonna happen. So when that they release these and people got their copies, I know that there are people that are gonna sell it on eBay. And I would hope that they would 9 times out of 10, they're going to sell the Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, Cell Saga, Majin Buu Saga, each of them, the Blu-rays, individually on eBay or wherever. And I'm going to purchase them individually. Now, I don't need the Saiyan Saga one because I still got the level sets. And I always watch the level sets when I watch the Saiyan Saga. But if I want to watch the rest of them 4 or 3, I will be buying it. You fools saying it's like, I thought helping compare it to the original or helping compare it to the rest. Even Funimation thought that will help you understand. You just don't get it. If you want the grain and you want the original thing, you have to understand that is going to be higher than 1080p, and that is going to be a certain, it's going to be expensive. And if it's expensive, they can't distribute it. You think they're going to distribute the thing with the grain and everything in a big collector's edition? That should be $600. That'd be $600. So if you want the original thing, it's going to cost more, right? You can't afford it. Okay, you want it to cost less. Well, let's make something that look good, furthermore watchable, look good, look very good, like these things they just saying that they're going to release in 4:3 format. And you can watch it, you can enjoy yourself, you'll be as happy as a tigger. And then you complain you want the grain. You don't got money for grain. You don't. You don't got money. You don't got money for what you saying you want. Because if you didn't have the money 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago when they had the level sets, you don't got the money now. The same way a lot of y'all didn't even have the money to get the pink ass 4:3 format when you was complaining with your $20 orange brick nasty ass sets. I wouldn't even touch an orange brick set. So basically, to wrap this video up, that was a summary of every Dragon Ball Z release so you can compare it, an explanation of why the orange bricks look the way they did, why the TV TOONAMI cartoon version looked the way it did, the reason why they came out with the level sets. Every single time you saying they ain't listening, I literally went over every single time you said something, they noticed something, and they did something about it. You idiots don't even understand what it is that's going on with this. Bruh, Yu Yu Hakusho is on Blu-ray. That is not the original way that Yu Yu Hakusho looks. Right? The original Yu Yu Hakusho has grain. The original Cowboy Bebop has grain. If they gonna release the original Cowboy Bebop with grain, the shit will be $120. If they gonna release the original Yu Yu Hakusho with grain, the shit is gonna be like, whoo, the shit gonna be like $60, $70 a season. Cause you know they got a lot of episodes in each of those Yu Yu Hakusho seasons. Alright? So if you can't afford it, well just shut the fuck up and say you can't afford it. And if you can't go back and buy the Pioneer DVDs and you don't want the Pioneer DVDs, fine. You didn't want them anyway. If you don't want the Dragon boxes, you don't gotta go online and try to buy the Dragon boxes. If you don't want the level sets that people still selling level sets online, you don't have to. You can't tell these people in this company what to do because you're foolish and you ain't never gonna understand. And to be honest with you, it don't even matter that much. Nigga, it's Dragon Ball Z. Motherfucker, it's Dragon Ball Z. You acting like this is some shit that's gonna throw you into the planet Vegeta, or you flying around with Goku, Krillin, and his little son and Namek. It's just an anime. What the fuck? I'm out this bitch.